Resident Evil 2 Remake is my third game in the Resident Evil series. With my previous games being both Resident Evil 7 and Village, I've had some level of experience with playing those games, and as I was heading into this game thinking it wouldn't be that scary since, hey, I survived through Resident Evil 7, let's just say I was completely wrong and this game scared the hell out of me. So, enough rambling, let's jump right into RE2 Remake. RE2 is the origin story of what happened in 1998 with the Raccoon City incident. So this is where you first see Leon and Claire make their debut into the Resident Evil series in the original game. Leon's a rookie officer who was told to stay away from the police station, and Claire is the sister of Chris Redfield, the beloved boulder punching guy. Anyways, when booting up the game, you can either play as Leon or Claire. I picked Leon first because why not, and began the game. One immediate difference that bugged me was the lack of crouching in this game, and yeah, it's never really necessary or required like it was in both 7 and Village, but it's an odd choice that they didn't include it here. Not that it's a big deal for me, it's more so just nitpicking in a sense. To begin the game, you go through a gas station which serves as a tutorial for you for what's to come in the later part of the game. As you continue through the gas station, wherever you're playing as, you'll run into the opposite character, dealing with hordes of zombies and making your way over to RPD. This is where the game truly begins, as you enter RPD and get ready to explore a huge place. RPD is such a great location for the game as it's spacious for you to run around in there. There's many items to be found and secrets that can help you find your way to progress the story. It's a nice breath of fresh air as you feel right at home, but at the same time you feel like you shouldn't be here. You'll spend a good majority of the game exploring RPD, and while it is a short part of the game, it's really good. The atmosphere of this place is hard to describe well. When you think of a police station, you think security, a busy place with constant activity. However, all of that is thrown out the window with dark hallways, narrow corridors, blocked off pathways, and zombies sprawling throughout the city and station. It's interesting that the police department is a museum in reality, with the library, statues, architecture. It feels just right in a horror game. You feel a blend of comfort, unease, exploring, knowing anything can pop out at any second, such as zombies, lickers that jump at you, and a really tall man with a hat that is similar to the Terminator. More on him later. RPD is the highlight of this game, no doubt, and I love playing through this part of the game. Trying to get to the STARS office with the liquor for the first time is scary as all hell. Witnessing a helicopter crash while going outside to see what is happening, revisiting the place to find the power panel parts is all great stuff here. There's also the interactions with the lieutenant. Depending on who you're playing as, what he says is different. With Leon, he is hard on him, but rightfully so, as he wants to ensure that the rookie doesn't make the same mistake as him with hesitating to shoot a zombie wearing a police uniform, which is really neat and sets up for a brief mentorship. What makes RPD so special as a first area is that fear of the unknown. With each new room you enter, there's that unsettling feeling that anything will pop up out of nowhere. As you progress further into the building, only to find out this terrifying thing crawling on the ceiling. Lickers are monsters that can't see but have strong hearing like a bat. You must walk around carefully as to not alert them, and if you do, they'll jump at you like crazy. Fortunately, you can stun them with a flashbang if you need to get away from them. Lickers are terrifying as all hell for me. While they aren't everywhere in the map, the few instances that you do see them, I'm usually uneasy because these are hard to bypass. The zombies in this game simply do not die. The only way to truly kill them is if their head pops off, and I'm unsure if YouTube will let me show this, so I'll blur it just in case so this video isn't age restricted. Anyways, next up is the main threat of this game, Mr. X. Mr. X is terrifying in this game. With him being invulnerable to any weapon, he'll walk around RPD while you explore, and any noise you make can alert him to your position. Hell, you can hear his loud footsteps when walking around RPD at any given moment after his first encounter. Once you see him, run as far away from him as you can. Nothing will stop him from attempting to reach you as he walks to you slowly yet in a menacing way. I really like Mr. X in this game. He's terrifying here. He can literally show up out of nowhere and punch the shit out of you. Of course, he can't enter some rooms in the game, such as the clock tower room or STARS office, as those rooms are important for the player to progress through. Anyways, let's continue with Mr. X's design here. I really like the fedora thrown in here. It doesn't fit his tall build, yet it works in a good way. In the lore, the fedora is meant for him to look inconspicuous, but when you're 7 foot tall and walking with loud footsteps, he's totally inconspicuous. conspicuous, yes. Anyways, Mr. X really keeps the player on their toes through ensuring that the footsteps are heard at all times. He is more involved in Leon's story as he serves to be that game's final boss. While with Claire, he has some scripted set pieces and gets killed off much earlier. His role differs throughout the two campaigns, but again, Mr. X does a really good job at scaring the player when he shows up. As you progress through RPD, you'll eventually run into Ada when you're playing as Leon or Chief Irons when playing as Claire. Both scenarios require you to unlock a power panel to obtain a police keycard. Although Leon is a cop, so you'd think he'd have been issued one once he got hired, but whatever. It is interesting getting these two parts that you need, as one of them is found in the parking area while the second one is found in the iconic clock tower. And like I said, it's one of the few rooms Mr. X isn't programmed to enter, as you need that room to progress through the game. Leon's scenario has more involvement with Ada going through the sewers and playing through an Indiana Jones-like section briefly, but with Claire you switch over to Sherry escaping the orphanage, and this part is why I think the exclusion of a crouch is odd, because you can crouch with Sherry just fine but not with Leon or Claire. Even then, the crouch is mainly used for a short yet brief stealth part, which is pretty interesting as it's treated like a true horror game in a sense. As you continue, you later reach the orphanage as Claire and you get to the sewers from Irons' office, which is a pretty cool difference in both scenarios. Too bad both scenarios are 90% the exact same, and how they never run into each other makes no sense. Like, it's nice to play as Claire thanks to the dialogue differences and playing as Sherry, but you're playing the game 4 times in a row to clear both the A and B scenarios as both characters, so that's a slog. You may have been asking why I haven't mentioned the boss fights yet, and I know I'm glossing over those, and I'll get to those later on in the video. Anyway, I've mentioned a ton about RPD and the enemies, so let's talk about the part that a lot of players seem to hate, which is none other than the sewers. Whether you are playing as Leon or Claire, the sewers is a massive drop off from the highlight of the game that is RPD. It's more tedious to go through on Leon's campaign because you play as Ada, and that part of the game can give you some trouble, especially since Mr. X is briefly hunting you down while you progress. Then with Claire, you can somewhat breeze through the sewers since you don't have to worry about playing as Ada. The main problem with the sewers is the level design itself. It's very easy to get lost when navigating this place for the first time. Your objective here is to get some chest pieces so you can have the power supplies to open this door, which getting the chest pieces itself is fine enough. The problem is the path to getting said chest pieces. You must walk through this path to reach the room while fighting these disgusting monsters that are damage sponges. Their glowing eyes are the only way to attack. You can fight them, but it will drain your ammo a lot fighting these things. You must also keep your distance to prevent yourself from getting poisoned. You can prevent that through using a knife, flashbang, grenade, etc., like with most other enemies in this game. If you don't have any of those items, then you're poisoned, and if you want to heal that poison, you need blue herbs, and if you don't have blue herbs, you're as good as dead, meaning you'll have to run all the way back from where you left off in the safe room. So the sewers is definitely an area of all time. I wouldn't say I outright hate it, more so just simply dislike it on both scenarios of the game. Even on a replay, it sucks since the pacing is much slower than an RPD. Enough about the sewers, let's talk about Umbrella HQ, a short yet linear final area of the game. I think this area is solid enough with the atmosphere of an abandoned lab being interesting. These enemies are plant-like creatures that are annoying as all hell since they are similar to lickers, where if you don't have a sub-weapon to hold them off, they one-shot one-kill you, making it annoying if you struggle with these. They do have these orange parts to shoot which stuns them, so that's nice. The main objective here is to get your wristband leveled up to level 4, and you'll find these obstacles along the way, with level 2 being the busy area, while level 3 leads to the final boss. By the way, f this little puzzle thing. I just found it confusing, and looking up a guy, I feel stupid not knowing the solution, so that was fun. Anyways, continuing, you fight this boss, which is William Birkin, the husband of Annette Birkin, which is the mother of Sherry. I should have mentioned that early, but regardless, we fight William in both scenarios 3 times. His boss fights are mainly running around to evade his attacks and shooting his eye that pops up in the first fight. In the second fight, use a crane against him to deal damage towards him, which is actually pretty pretty cool idea, especially that you're given flashbangs to buy yourself some time. So credit where credit is due. The third fight is similar to the first fight, but the arena is much more open and less claustrophobic. Instead of him slashing at you, he uses the environment against you, which is again quite nice here. The bosses are recycled and all on both scenarios of the game, which is unfortunate, but again it's a decent boss fight. The true final boss changes for both characters, as with Leon you fight Mr. X directly in a small platform descending. His attacks can be hard to dodge here thanks to how slow the run speed is and the range that his attacks cover in the arena. He also does an attack that will lead to a charge, and if he hits you, you're pretty much dead and have to restart the fight from the beginning. After you deal enough damage to him, a rocket launcher comes in and you defeat Mr. X with it, clearing Leon's game. With Claire, I believe it's a William Birkin reskin fight. I don't think it's actually him, but it's a solid boss fight even if it's recycled here. Anyways, that was Resident Evil 2 Remake, a really good horror game overall that did spook me from time to time. The highlight of RPD is unmatched to the rest of the areas in this game, and that's what makes RE2 memorable in both the original and remake. Mr. X was terrifying to deal with as he would jump scare me at times and all, yet I still enjoyed his company in the game here. Next up is Resident Evil 3 Remake, and that game is really short, so I should have that video out by next week. So that's really all I have to say with this video, and as always, enjoy yourselves and have a good one.